Hey everybody, it's Jack, and in this video I'm going to talk about a custom variant I made for one of my favorite games, and that is Pandemic. As you can see here, I have first edition Pandemic. I was an early adopter. I love this game. I think it has a robust platform that is great for expanding upon, and I have made several custom expansions and variants for first edition Pandemic. They're all on Board Game Geek. They're easy to find and read about. I wanted to highlight one in particular, and that is my Advanced Research Station variant. And this is one that actually works fine with the current edition of Pandemic. A lot of people have asked me if I'm going to convert all of the other expansions and variants to the current edition, and the answer is, if I ever get the current edition. I have the first edition. It still plays just fine. So until I ever do pick up a different version, I'm not going to worry about doing all that work to convert it. But some of it is modular, like these research stations. So the research station, at least for first edition, are these little wooden Monopoly hotel looking things. And they're all white, but I thought it would be fun, and I picked up several of these in other colors. So I've got red, and I've got purple, and I've got green, and black, and blue, and orange, and all these other things, and these correspond to the different stations. So what happens is when you build a research station, and including, you can do this for the first one that starts on the game, you're going to shuffle up, and you're going to draw one of these cards, and that's going to tell you which research station you actually have on the board. And you'll be like, oh, I drew this one. So we'll get out the pink station that corresponds to it, and that lets us know if there are any special abilities, and they all behave differently. So I'll cover what they do. So starting with that, the pink one is the Advanced Facility. The way it works is you may spend an action to discard 4 city cards of the same color at the research station to decrease the outbreak indicator. Now, the outbreak indicator is this thing on the board. Every time you have an outbreak, you're going to move this marker, and if it gets to that, then you have lost the game. It's one of many ways you can lose the game. And there's no real mechanism for moving that marker back up once it gets there, but now there is. So you can do that, spending an action, discarding cards, especially later in the game after you've found a cure. Let's say you found a cure to the yellow disease and you've got all these yellow cards. You're not using them for cures anymore. You can still use them for things, but now you can also use them to reduce that outbreak indicator. Our next one is the At-Risk Station. And so the way this one works is you're going to add a purple cube to the city where this research station is located anytime a cube of any color is added to this city. So this At-Risk Station you're only going to use in an expansion variant that involves the purple cubes. They're not one of the standard 4 diseases. Purple ones are used in a couple of variants, especially like I've got a zombie variant that uses the purple cubes. So if you're not using the purple cubes, you would just draw another one and get a different one. But the At-Risk Station will certainly up the ante if you've got that in the game. The Black Research Station is the high-level biohazard. Now, it requires no actions to cure disease at this station. So that's pretty handy. If you've got this one on there, normally you have to spend an action to do it. So now you can get one extra action on that turn if you're curing the disease there. So that's pretty good. Our purple research station is the Vaccination Center. And you may spend actions at this research station to treat cubes of the same color as the city where the station is located as if that disease had been cured. So normally you can't do that until you have found a cure for a particular disease. But if you've built the vaccination center there, then you can start treating it. And you can say, all right, yeah, this is great. Let's get to work on that. Our gray research station is the Cutting Edge Lab. You may use 2 city cards of a color as 1 card of any other color when finding a cure at this research station. So again, it's another way to take advantage of the cards that are for a disease you've already cured. It makes those cards wild, essentially. If you use 2 of those, if like we need to cure the black disease and we don't have enough of the black cards, but we've cured yellow, so that we can use 2 yellows there at the Cutting Edge Lab to fill in for one of those that we didn't have. Blue is the Outreach Center. And this one, no disease cubes are added to this city where the station is located when playing the Infector. So normally when you play the Infector, you're going to draw those cards, and every city that you draw, you're adding a cube. But the Outreach Center, you will never add a cube to. So it's harder to get an outbreak in that city. If you draw the white one, it's a standard station, and it has no frills, no thrills. It's just a regular old-fashioned station. The green is the knowledge base, and this one's interesting. You can share knowledge at this research station as if it were any city of the color where the station is located. So let's say that you've built this in Washington, which is blue. Normally, if you want to share knowledge and you have the Washington card, you need to be in Washington, or if you are in Chicago, you need to be, you and the person you're sharing knowledge with both have to be in Chicago, and you are sharing the Chicago card. But if you've built the knowledge base in a city, then you can share any cities if you're at that station with another player, if they're the same color. The downside is, though, you may not use the station to find cures or for shuttle flights. So it's not going to help you with the cure, but it does help you to get the cards to the right person so that you can get the cure. Our orange research station is the low-level biohazard, and there must be at least 2 pawns present at this research station to find a cure here. So you and a friend have to both be there when it's time to find a cure for whichever disease this station is located in. So again, not all the stations are good. Some of them can be more challenging. The red one is the unsafe complex. Now, this hastily built research station allows a player to cure a disease with 1 fewer card by increasing the infection rate and outbreak indicator. So the outbreak indicator, again, is this one, and then the infection rate is this one here, this one that goes up, and that's the number of cards that you're drawing. So if you're able to risk it, you're like, look, we'll make things less safe, but then we can get stuff done with fewer cards. Might be worth doing. Yellow is the mobile medical lab, and any player may spend an action to move this research station to an adjacent city. So that can be very useful. The mobile medical lab can only be moved once per turn. So if you've got this, let's say you built it in one of the red cities and now you've cured red, you could move this to an adjacent color, move it over to black, and now you can cure black at that station. So that can be very handy. And then finally, the brown one is the command center. And any player starting their turn at this research station may take 1 additional action, and sharing knowledge at the station does not require taking an action. So the command center can be very useful. It'll attract players there so that they know, okay, I'll end my turn now at that one. Then we can do a share knowledge, and then when I start my next turn, I'll have 1 extra action on that turn. So that is how that variant works. It's pretty easy to do. You can make the cards and print those out. It's very easy to find these colored tokens to use as the research stations, and even if it doesn't matter which edition of Pandemic you're playing, you can certainly use this. So let me know what you think of this expansion and this variant, and if you have used it, I'd love to hear about it, and if you are interested in making one, I want to hear about that as well. And let me know if there's other variants to Pandemic that you are keen to see a video on, because I'm happy to make them. So thanks for watching.